What's up, everybody? Thomas here, coming at you with another video. Boom, we got another installment on the MX650 build. Man, this is taking way too much time. So today what I'm gonna do is, I know I was gonna do the motor stuff and the battery stuff, but I think an easy kill is to get this suspension knocked out. And I think for future videos, what I'm probably gonna do is just film me doing whatever I'm doing and then do a voiceover, just because it makes it like way easier and less time consuming, because I just want to get this thing done, man. It's beautiful outside and I want to ride this thing. Let's get to this video. Today we are installing the Ride or Die Research and Development forks for the Razors. And we're also installing this, Amazon special mountain bike shock for the rear. I believe this is a 750 pound one. So I don't know. I think anything is better than stock. And in this case, here's the Ride or Die thing. This is a pretty complete kit here, man. This thing looks pretty rad. These shocks look legit, as you can see. There's a little bolt adapter for the top. And then you also have, the brake adapters for, the disc brakes. So I chose to do the, what do they call it? The mountain bike disc brakes. So that's the adapter I got for that. And then it comes with these cool little guards that go right here. And it also came with, I guess, it also came with a disc brake that matches up with the OEM wheel and it'll fit all this stuff good. But you know what? Things, we'll see how it goes as we go installing it, right? Because, I mean, it's always, you order everything thinking it's going to fit until, the day comes when you're going to put all this shit on. But, yeah, let's get to some disassembly and stuff here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to work on here is this rear shock. This is going to take some Allen wrenches. And it looks like you're going to need two, right, for each side. Well, actually, no. So it's coming loose on this side. And that isn't turning, so that's cool. So what I probably should have done is undone the bottom first, but that's one bolt. This bike has probably never been worked on, so these bolts are probably going to be kind of hard to deal with. Second bolt is out. So it looks like what these are bolts, like you got a male bolt and kind of like a female bolt kind of thing going on. I want to say maybe most of the weight is off of it, so I should be able to push these out. And as you can see, you kind of just move the Allen wrench in there, and boom, bottom bolt out. Let's save that guy, because I don't know if the one in the kit will fit. Boom, top bolt out. So as you guys can see, here's the OEM shock. Man, it has some adjustability. I mean, dude, for some little cheap Razor motorcycle, this shock is pretty cool. Has some adjustability on there, but we're getting rid of this bad boy and installing the new one. Let's do a little compare here. So here's the side-by-side. The OEM shock's about 2 to 3 inches shorter than the Amazon one, so that's going to probably change the ride height a little bit. Rear shock's installed. So let's see how much firmer this suspension is now. All right, guys, first impressions here. That definitely sits up higher. I mean, it might only be a 2-inch difference between shock size, but with the geometry, I feel like this thing's way higher. At least 3 inches, 3 or 4 inches. But as you can see in the lean right there when the kickstand down, but this shock is definitely firmer. So I don't know if that's going to be fun for riding, but we'll see. Rear shock installed, definitely firmer, and definitely raises the ride height in the rear, at least, of the bike. Now let's get to the front shock disassembly here. First things coming off are the handlebars. Handlebars off. All right, guys, so let's get this front wheel off. What we're dealing with here is a 17 millimeter bolt on one side and a 14 on another. You just gotta crack it and unscrew, and make sure you don't lose any of the washers on here, because you might need them to space everything out. So, there's one washer, and then we'll easily pull this out, and boom, front wheel's out. All right, now that the front wheel's off, we're moving on to the triple tree here, the front shocks. This is the same Allen key that you use for the handlebars, and it's a 17 millimeter bolt in the bottom. And we're just gonna undo this guy and let her rip. Boom. So that bottom bolt came out. Looks like there's a rubber washer in there and a normal washer. We're pulling the bolt out the top. Oh, boom, there you go. So, oh shit. And this has, these have spacers on the bottom too. So there's one on the bottom, one on the top. Let's hold on to that. So yeah, here we go. Front triple tree out. I'm gonna clean this up right here before I get to installing the new ride or die shocks. And let's whip out these ride or die shocks. So this came with spacers. It came with a bunch of hardware. And it also came with the bolt that goes through the top. So I think the first thing we need to do is probably remove the bottom, which has this gnarly ass spacer right here. You see that? And bolt. And then you have some washers, which I believe these washers will go in the top and the bottom right there. And then you have a gnarly spacer up top. So I'm assuming what you need to do is the spacers that were already in here is you want to keep those guys, because it looks like you need those to fit this bolt. Yeah, you do, or it's going to be too loose. See, on the bottom it's too loose. So you want to keep those bolts, the OG spacers, you want to keep them in there. So those are in there. And then I'm assuming you have these two washers. So one probably goes here and one probably goes on the bottom. So let's see how this works. So this has a big old washer here. So it looks like these are almost like some sort of universal shock here, and then you get these guys that kind of fit. So let's see how that goes on. Oh, bottom one fell out. So yeah, there's a lot of room here. You're gonna have to use all the washers supplied to get a nice tight fit. This bottom one's gonna be a pain, I can already tell. All right, so you guys see now I have some play with this thing. So that means I should have no problems with the fender washer. So first things first, bolt through the top, fender washer. Then you wanna put this on top right there, and hopefully, oh my goodness, that fell. But yeah, man, you want to line that up, and you want to make sure you did keep the stock spacers. Boom, stock spacer there. And now, as you can see, we have room for the bottom fender washer. Let's get that other fender washer in there. It's kind of hard to line all this stuff up, man, especially sitting on the ground here. But okay, lined up. And now I can push this triple tree clamp up, and let me take the bolt and put it on the bottom. Oh, almost forgot, man. You got this big ass spacer that needs to go on the bottom to line everything up. There we go. There we go, guys. So yeah, I pulled the triple trees down a little too far. Let me get this bottom nylon lock bolt on. The shocks are installed. The triple trees are a little bit loose, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten that up. And guys, if you don't have ratcheting wrenches, I would definitely advise that you get some. Yeah, so that's there. It's kind of odd. I think I got a lot of room to tighten these guys up because I'm not getting full thread lock on the nylon nut here. So let me get this tightened down and, you know, go from there. So there we go. Front shock is installed. That seemed pretty easy. All right, guys, so here's a review. I put that on there. Probably a little confusing, but here's a little review, right? So you have the washer in this thing. There's a fender washer, the stock spacer, fender washer, and then the bottom spacer that came with the shocks and the nuts. So you do want to loosen this up so you have some play to fit things in there. And then what you want to do is you have two 17 millimeter, you need, you know, either two wrenches or a ratchet or something so you can tighten this down. Man, that's looking clean right there. So let's move on to putting the front wheel back on. All right, guys, so I didn't really see much info on there, but just if you're using, the ride or die came with its own spacers, right? And I was just kind of assembling it how the OEM was with these washers. And if you're using the OEM washers, it kind of throws it off a little bit. So I'm gonna go washerless. I'm raw dogging it, washerless, and I think we'll get a good fit that way. Let me come around here so I can line up that inner spacer without using the OEM washers in there on top of these I don't know what you call them, the ride or die ones. Yeah, it fits perfect. So basically use all the hardware that comes with the ride or die kit, and you don't really need. All right, guys, so I was mistaken here, man. The washers were actually on the outside, not on the inside. They were actually sitting like this. So I gotta take this whole shit apart and do it all over again. So putting the bike upside down like this did make it easier to install this front wheel. Now we have the front wheel installed. Let's get the bike back upright again. Look at that lean, guys. Yeah. Aftermarket shocks do raise the bike up quite a bit, man. Look at that. See that? Look at the kickstand. Before, that kickstand was like, like there it would be touching. But now you're looking at, that's a good lift, at least 3 or 4 inches. All right, guys, so the shocks are installed, and I'm guessing we should go with some bonus footage here and just go ahead and install the pit bike handlebars that I bought. Let's go ahead and do that so we can maneuver this bad boy around and have a good time. And we're gonna put these pit bike ones back on here. Ooh, look at this thing. Damn. Dude, the size, the bike feels like it's double in size just with these shock changes. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating here. This feels like I haven't even ridden this thing. It feels like it's like twice as big right now. Here we go. Shocks are installed, new handlebars, ride or die front research kit. The reason why I went with these is because, man, I priced pit bike forks and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, by the time you get a set of forks and, you know, you buy this conversion bolt kit thing here, I mean, ride or die sells it for like $50. You're buying this shock assembly probably for $100, $150. And on top of that, you're gonna need this bracket right here. See this special bracket for like Zoom brakes? Unless, I guess, if you're using normal OEM brakes, those might bolt in. But I mean, I think I paid $250 for this. So when you price this out yourself and you kind of, you know, mix and max the parts yourself, you're gonna probably save like $50. But overall, I know this bolt's true bolt-on kit, and as you can see, I bolted it right up. It works. It fits. Overall, dimensions of the bike, it makes it look silly, man. The thing looks silly, but for the most part, it looks pretty cool, man. I'm looking forward to riding this guy. As you can see, man, I had to put this box here. Look at this lean here. That's a crazy-ass lean. This lifts the bike at least 3 or 4 inches. But for the most part, those back shocks feel good, and those front ones feel good too. So I have a good feeling about how this bike's gonna ride now. But yeah, so I think in the next video, the motor stuff, I think I'm going to do last, man. So I think next video is going to be the brakes. Because if the brakes don't bolt right on, I'm probably going to have to order parts to get it to fit. Quick video, not quick at all. But anyways, we're done for today. Like always, guys, thank you for watching. Peace.